Hi, I am Adolf Navarro. Welcome back to my studio. This time I want to show you a new and very useful feature of Character Creator, such as its ability to export the characters to iClone in different levels of detail, allowing us to manage crowds and to create projects like this one. Cool, isn't it? And all the characters present in the sequences are 3D models animated in iClone. Let's see how it is possible. As you know, characters have become more and more realistic nowadays. But the price we have paid is an increment in the number of polygons and the resolution of the textures, making it almost impossible to manage projects containing a large amount of characters simultaneously. One solution that I mentioned in another recent video is the use of billboards using pop videos as a texture. Each billboard can have several characters performing animations that have been previously rendered in other iClone projects. This is quite effective, but has the limitation that the billboards have to face the camera all the time. So it is only useful for certain shots. If we make camera rotations or long camera traveling, the trick is exposed. But now, when exporting the original characters from Character Creator to iClone, we can select the InstaLOD Remesher option to create several reduced versions of the same character that can be used in our iClone projects, depending on their proximity to the camera. Let's see an example. In its standard resolution, this character weighs about 68 megabytes. iClone doesn't have any problem to animate it at 60 frames per second in real time. But if we create a little platoon of just 24 characters animated, all of them in the same project, well, not only the frames per second decrease when playing in real time, but the project becomes super heavy and really hard to handle, using almost 1 gigabyte of the hard disk. And the fact is that when animating crowds, most of the characters are far away from the camera, so it doesn't make sense to use the same quality for the characters that are close to the camera that for the ones that are very far away. And here is when Character Creator's new iAvatar exportation tool can make the difference, replacing the characters of the platoon for the remeshed ones using the normal level of detail of the InstaLOD Remesher option. We can appreciate an important improvement in iClone's performance and a reduction in the size of the project. Using the lowest level of detail, iClone can support more characters, and if they are placed very far away from the camera, we cannot appreciate the lack of detail in their meshes and texture maps. One great feature of these reduced characters is that they can be animated with the standard tools of iClone. Even the rich effectors are still operative, so we can apply to them motion clips that we have created or bought and edit their motions in the timeline. On the other hand, the facial animation is limited to open and close the mouth, but due that the characters are very far away, this is not a real issue. If we need more quality in the remeshed characters, Character Creator provides more tools to manually create lighter versions of the characters. So, the Convert to Game-based tool reduces the number of polygons of the character's body and unifies its body textures in a single one. In a similar way, the Polygon Reduction tool can be used to reduce the polygons in the clothes and accessories attached to the characters. Using this method, we can obtain a new reduced character that still looks pretty good, even at a close range, and its clothes and accessories are still independent objects that can be saved and used in all the characters and projects. Keep in mind that the characters reduced using the Export LOD Remeshing tool are remeshed with all their clothes and attached accessories, making a unified single mesh, and sometimes it can create undesired results. In these cases, my advice is to remesh the accessories independently using the InstaLOD Polygon Reduction tool. Also keep in mind that the InstaLOD tool only works with single meshes, so if our model has child objects, we have to merge them previously with the parent object using the Modify Merge Accessory tool. Then we can remesh the object using the InstaLOD Polygon Reduction Object tool. After the object has been remeshed, it can be saved and exported as iAccessory in order to be used in iClone. Then we can remove the accessory from the character in Character Creator and export it to iAvatar format using the exportation InstaLOD Remesher. Once the reduced character is being loaded in iClone, we can attach again the previously remeshed accessory. In this way, the remeshed character is a little bigger, but all the accessories look good as they have not been melted with the character mesh. This method has the advantage that we can detach the accessories if it is necessary in the animation. For example, if the soldier is being hit and loses its machine gun. In these cases, remember to detach the accessory and link it to the character instead, as only linked objects can be unlinked in the middle of the animation. There are some motion clips, like the ones created by the Puppet tool of iClone, that actually don't change the position of the character. In these cases, we have to create two transform keys, one setting the initial place of the motion and another one setting the final position. Remember to set their transition curves as linear in order to get a uniform motion. If we want to copy the character with its motion, it is better if we previously save the motion and their transform keys using the Collect Clip tool. If not, when we copy the character using the Move gizmo while keeping the Control key pressed, we will change the initial point of the motion for the new character, but not the last one. So both characters will end in the same place. Instead, if we delete the motion clip and the transform keys from the original character and we load the motion clip that we have just saved, then when we make a copy of the character in a new position, the displacement of the new character will be relative from its origin. Remember that currently you can't rotate the character once the motion has been loaded, because the rotate character will face the original direction while moving in the new direction. In order to get a correct motion, you have to link the character to a dummy object and rotate the dummy instead. Once we get the desired motion, we can unlink the character and remove the dummy. When copying characters with the motions, all of them will move at the same time, getting an awkward effect. To make the animation more natural, I recommend to make the motion clips a little bigger than the time set in the animation. And don't start the sequence in the frame 0, but a little ahead, for example in the frame 100. In this way, we could move the motion clips in the timeline, avoiding the synchronization in the motion clips, resulting in a much more natural effect in the crowd. Keep in mind that props with displacement maps, substance materials, particles or video textures consume a lot of resources of iClone and make the project harder to handle. So, I recommend putting all the characters and setting their motions before to put those heavy items on the scene. It will make easier for you to check the animations in real time. Finally, there is no fixed rule to determine what level of detail you have to apply in each character. It obviously will depend on the proximity of the character to the camera and its level of importance in the animation. The good news is that we can replace any character for another of its versions and check how it looks. The new character that replaced the previous one will inherit its motions, so we can check different levels of detail in the selected character and keep the smaller one that still looks right. Well, you can see it really opens a brand new world of possibilities, as we can use a lot of real 3D characters that can be animated independently in one single project, with all the advantages that come with it. Okay, I hope you have found this video interesting. Until the next one, bye bye.